everybody. It's Alexander Dahl with Manifest Vitality once again. So, keeping with the ongoing trend, I have yet another interview. So, we're just going to go ahead and get straight into that. All right, bye. All right, so I'm currently on the phone with Sam Hankins. He's one of the musicians that reached out to me about the current interview series. So, I'll go ahead and give him a chance to introduce himself.
Hey everyone. My name is Sam Hankins, and thanks, Alex, for having me come on. I really appreciate that.
Definitely. So, where I like to start at the beginning, as you always should. So, give me some details about how you first clicked and identified with music. What kind of really made you realize that that's what you wanted to do and have in your life?
Well, I have to say, kind of grew up around it. You know, my family, on my father's side as well as my mother's side was musicians. Or my my grandmother on my father's side was a gospel singer. Very heavy in the church, and basically my father was a singer. My uncles, my aunts, they all sing. So kind of grew up around it. Me and my brother just hearing music, and my father also had a band. And so, I had opportunities, sit and listen to this group, like performing and playing. So it was just something I just grew up in. I thought was normal. That's something, I wanted to do. Don't get me wrong, my father had, a regular 9 to 5 job, something, but he worked, but music was, it was just constant in our household. And, I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. This is, I didn't know how I was going to get there, but this is what I wanted to do. And just growing up in just different styles, learning Motown, learning jazz, just hearing all these great artists play. This is something I wanted to do.
So when you first had that bug and it got into you, did you start learning instrumentation or did you start picking up on the choir aspect of it?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, we started out singing. My father was giving us voice lessons, and how to breathe, how to pronounce words, our vowels, our syllables. So we went through that, and we were doing pretty good. But it got to a point. I think maybe I was in sixth grade, maybe 9 or 10, something like 10, 11. I can't remember. But around that time, I saw an old film clip of Louis Armstrong playing the trumpet, and it's just like, whoa, that's it. That's what I want. Even though I come from a traditional family of vocalists, I didn't want to break the mold and say, you know what, I want to play trumpet.
Sure.
And so that bug came to me. But my father understood because he was a harmonica player, so he also played an instrument as well. And so I just told my mother, I said, I want to play the trumpet. And my mother said, well, I think your uncle used to play. I think it's at your grandmother's under the bed somewhere. And why don't you just go get that and see, So, went over there and I pulled it out. It was all rusty and old and smelly, and valves couldn't move. But, I kind of worked on it and put the mouthpiece in, and I was just making noise. Things would start happening until, I got to school and learned how to play the instrument and, get teachers and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it. The instrument just came to me. It's something I wanted to play.
Okay, so you did like the whole concert band circuit when you were in school,
Yeah,
I assume?
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did the middle school, high school, marching band, concert band, orchestra. Yeah, I did the whole scene. Yeah.
Sure. When you were in marching band, did you do like competition marching band then?
Back then, there wasn't any competition. I mean, the competition didn't really get started really heavy and maybe mid '80s.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. When I graduated, competition wasn't very known. The marching band was just there to support the football team and pep band, stuff like that. And very rarely we did any competition. Most of our competition was mostly in concert band and jazz band.
Okay.
We go to concert, stuff like that.
So how did you kind of take all of that knowledge that you learned like through concert band, a little bit of marching band, and then like your gospel? How did you kind of move forward with that and kind of identifying how you wanted to interact with music?
Well, they all played a great aspect, in my development as a musician and as a teacher as well. Just learning and listening, I think, coming from the family that I came from, hearing the gospel and the soul and the R&B and just engrossing into that music and learning what makes that music popular and how to convey it to audience. And something I was taught, just how to be an entertainer, how to
Hmm.
draw out certain aspects in music, so because, you there for the audience. You're not there for your own for gratification.
Hmm.
It is a debate on, on artistry, as a performer or as a player, usually, artists, is there from them, I'm not saying all artists, but, it is a self gratification, they want to convey what they feel. But,
Hmm.
as an entertainer, you still have to think about your audience and then also put in the aspect of art into it as well. So it's a give and take. There's a balance that you got to think about. And as I was growing up doing both, as being an artist as well as being an entertainer,
Hmm.
because you have to always think about about your audience and everything. But everything that incorporated the concert band, the march band, everything that was growing up in band, it played a big part of where I am right now.
Sure. So on that note, what kind of stuff are you into right now? Are you continuing the choir thing? Did you continue to do the trumpet?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I continued singing, and it got to the point where I was playing the trumpet so much where I kind of put the singing off to the side. So but I tell myself, well, I'm singing through my trumpet, and so that's my vocal there. But
Sure.
I'm still a trumpeter. I'm still a professional trumpeter. I'm still writing. I'm still composing, and um, yeah, just trying to make music and just performing.
Awesome. So, what are some of the projects that you're involved in where you do the trumpeting?
Oh, I like to have my own projects as well, but I also worked on other, musicians or other artists, CDs, so I'm pretty much have kind of hit the whole gamut of music. I have done, salsa, I have done, classical, jazz, big band, as a lead player as well as a soloist. So I kind of limit myself for what I like to do with my music. But as well as I'm writing as well, I do write a lot of various styles, on my CDs, and I have some Latin stuff. I have some jazz as well as smooth jazz, and also some R&B. So I just like to keep my mind open, not just lock myself into one genre.
Okay. And do you record and produce your own music, or do you have like a group that you do that with?
I have it's a little bit of both. Mostly I kind of produce and write because everything is kind of done in your own room with your with your keyboard
Hmm.
and your computer and everything else that you can hook it up with. But I get to a certain point where I have to get outside help, because I can only go so far with the stuff I have, or if I'm looking for other musicians to lay some tracks down, so
Hmm.
I have to outsource some other people, and so it's a little bit of both. I do what I can do, then I resource some stuff out to
Sure.
other
So,
musicians.
so when you're looking for other musicians that you want to work with, like
Hmm.
what are some like red flags about people, or what's something that kind of turns you on about somebody that you think they're going to be good to work with? Like, how do you find the balance of the people that you want to work with?
Oh man, that's a good question. I, I guess for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, it's all about relationships. If you work with certain people, you've been around the business a while, you get to develop relationships, and you know who can do what. And like I say, there are some great, phenomenal musicians that can play their booty off,
Hmm.
but they have real difficult problems of communication and working with people. And so, you have some great musicians, some great personalities, and just can work well with everybody, but the musicality is not up to what you're looking for, and it's very hard to kind of like tell those type of people that, man, I like you, but just you're just not there, and they understand. So trying to find that balance is just basically working with some great musicians, and keeping their names and on your Rolodex or whatever in your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of remember those people. But for me, I I um it's just basically trial and error. I mean, it's just the people that I have surround myself with. Just they always say surround yourself with positive people. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a positive person. And I also try to surround myself with you know great musicians as well as great personalities and don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some artists, there's musicians out here. They stuff don't stink, and their attitudes is just you just want to take a show and knock the crap out of them. Sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
just they have that type of mentality where they just really I'm the best. Nobody can take that away. But unfortunately, I don't like saying all musicians like that. But you do run across some that you just got to learn to uh, work with them. But they're limited. They're only going to go so far because of their attitude. So I try to surround myself with positive people, positive musicians, and that's how I get my work done.
Awesome. So before we started this interview, you mentioned that you had just moved to a new area. Have you found it like difficult to kind of get back into your routine, or has it just been like kind of right back into it? You found people that you like to work with?
Uh, I find it quite easy. Like I said, moving from Chicago. I've been in Chicago for a while. Close to 20 years, and like I said, the reason I made the relocation because wife got a job out here,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so I found it very easy. I mean, I have to say, soon I step off the plane,
Mm-hmm.
just for me, I stepped off the plane and I think it was like on a Thursday or something like that, and I ran into a friend at the apartment. When she was the queen, we got to know her. She said, "Hey, what y'all doing this weekend?" I'm doing nothing. So, we went out Saturday and just walking around, and next thing you know, I'm in Leimert Park,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm at Barbara Morrison. And if you don't know that name, look it up because she's phenomenal, great jazz singer at
Oh.
Barbara Morrison location. And one gentleman said, yes, she does a jam session on Mondays,
Mm-hmm.
and so I came back that Monday, and she was doing a jam session. A lot of great musicians coming up and playing, and you know, she said, "Who are you?" I said, "Who I am," and she said, "Do you play?" I said, "Yeah." And she asked me to get up there and play. And next thing I know, she said, "What are you doing Friday, Saturday?" I said, "I'm not doing anything. I just got off the plane here. I just moved here to LA."
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Well, I want you to play with me Friday, Saturday. I got a gig for you." And I'm just like, okay.
Wow. Nice.
So after that, I have been with her, been working with her, been playing at the Catalina Jazz Club. I mean, these festivals, and before the pandemic hit, we was playing regularly. I mean, I was working with some other people as well. So things was just moving really well. I was just like, wow. So yeah, until we had a tour set up in July to Barcelona, Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And so how that goes. And those every musician, they got canceled because of the situation. But
Right.
things was just moving very well. I thought that I was just getting right back into it.
So, how would you say the like kind of music scene for that you're into compares to Chicago versus LA?
That's I would like that. There's a difference. I mean, but it's not bad that Chicago's better than California or LA. I'm not going to say that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a different it's just a different mentality. I mean, uh, Chicago. We Chicago musicians. Just very hungry, very we very aggressive and
Mm-hmm.
very cutthroat and everything. And moving here, I mean, you got the same process as well wherever you go in the city, and there's that cutthroat. There's the you got to get in there and just show what you got to show.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that these the musicians are here are very open, very relaxed, and just to let you in. I'm not saying that's not in well as Chicago. It's the same way, but it's just a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Because coming from the East Coast and going to the West Coast, it's just a different vibe, and there's nothing bad about that. I'm not saying anything bad about it. Just
Sure, it's just
there's,
different.
yeah, it's just different. And but the musicians here in LA and in California, great musicians, man. I mean, phenomenal. You sit here and shake your head. I said, wait a minute, you used to play with such, so you sit there with these guys that have been playing with, so many people, and like I said, I was telling somebody was asking me, well, used to play with such and such, and I said, yeah, I did some work with Aretha Franklin. So some of these people will know who I am, because
Hmm.
they seen me and playing and stuff like this. So yeah, it's just different,
Okay.
So.
So what are a couple stories that really kind of stand out to you about you being in music? Like really important things that kind of really shaped the way that you idealize your interactions with music.
Ah, whoa, that's a that's a good one. I would have to say just having the opportunity to play with some of my musical idols, that I grew up listening to, that I never thought, you know coming from where I came from, Oklahoma City, to playing with people that I've been listening to for so many years, and I have an opportunity. I would have to say, just from the jazz side as well as I move into the popular side. From the jazz side is playing with a very well-known trumpet player, Mr. Clark Terry,
Okay.
and he, just to having the opportunity to listen to him, hang out with him, play in his band. I learned so much from this gentleman. Just his quirkiness, his attitude. He can just cut you up in one, two words, or he can look at you and cut you up. But great soul, great man, very giving. So I always tell this story when people ask me when I was with Clark Terry, it's just he'll school you. I mean, you might not know it, but he will spank you in so many ways. And and one and one of the things is I was doing a concert, and we was finishing off the set. We was finishing off something called A Train, something that he likes to end with. And he does his scatting and mumble there, but we was jamming, and so finally, he kind of let some of the guys in the band kind of get up and play with. But I can remember he turns around, looked at me, he said, "Sam, come on up here." And I'm just like, sitting in the drum set, you just like, okay, you're comfortable, you're around your guys, you're sitting there playing parts, and you're having a good time. But when he calls you up to go play with him next to him, that's just like, you know what? That's just not right. Just you're just going to get, it's just like, okay, son, this is how you do it. You'll start playing. I'll do my best to kind of hang with him, and so that's something I always remember and cherish, that I had the opportunity to get schooled by Clark Terry,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
just to sit here to play along with them and stuff like that. So it was great. Now on the popular side, I would have to say what really that just blew me away, that I just never thought in many years I get a chance to work with, it was the late Al Jarreau. And
Okay.
great human being, great man, great. I mean, so it's just we were just in rehearsal, getting the show together, and just sitting around talking to him, especially in the green room, and hearing the stories that he has gone through, and some of the stuff, you just sit and shake your head. It's like, wow. But just performing with him, and playing a solo just with him, you just never thought. I never thought in many years I'd be doing this, and so it just basically just taught me that to never give up, always keep dreaming, because your dreams can come true, and you just got to keep working at it. And I'm stubborn, and I just don't take everybody says no to me. I just say, okay, I'll prove it to you. I don't know. It's just like a motivation to me. And Lord knows I have heard a lot of no's in my musical journey. And I'm just like, I'm just going to keep going.
Sure. So, on that note, why don't you kind of throw out some of your plugs? Like, where can people find and listen to your music?
Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can find me on my website. I'll just give my website. It's samhankinsmusic.com. You can find a lot of my stuff, videos, and as well as my brand new track. I have a single out. It's entitled "Carol's Dream," and kind of dedicated to my wife. Kind of wrote it for her.
Hmm.
And all the stuff she has put up with me of all the years as a musician. Takes a special person, boy, to handle musicians. But so that's out, and also you can find me on YouTube. Just type my name in, Sam Hankins, or you can find me on regular social medias, Spotify, iTunes. To find some videos as well. If you want to go to YouTube, youtube.com/Sam Hankins. There's some videos of me playing with Algero and some other people and some of the other things. And so, but yeah, definitely check my website out. Check out my single. And,
Awesome, perfect. So what I like to do is I like to give the last word to the person I'm interviewing. So just a message that you kind of want to put out there that you kind of feel resonates with you.
oh yeah, something I was telling myself, just never give up. Just keep going, even though everything in your body is saying stop, don't do this, give up. You're not going to make it. Just got to keep persevering and keep going, even though we all going through what we're going through right now. It seems very bleak. We don't know if it's ever going to come back to normal or any type of normalcy, but yeah, you got to keep going. It's just because we're going to come out of this very, very strong. It's because people need entertainment, and that's something that I don't think is ever going to go away. But I'll just tell everybody, don't give up. Just keep going.